When he started showing me the credit stuff, I'm like, man, this is what I need. Like, things that you learn when you're forced to figure things out, it really brings out the best in you. So, and then I started funding people, helping people fix their credit, get their credit right. So he's been working with us the past 3 months now, and he's at $55,000 in 3 months, right? I was 22 years old, so it's been like 9 years now, all right? And I remember it was actually as a banker, and it was crazy because I kind of got fired, kind of quit. It was like, I had requested some time off. My manager had said, I didn't say that you could have the time off, and she said, if you leave, don't come back. So I kind of made a decision. And I remember leaving and feeling like, damn, what am I gonna do now? And a lot of entrepreneurs, that's a pivotal point in our transitions from going part-time to full-time. I was kind of forced into full-time. So ever since then, man, I've been an entrepreneur, and I made a decision that, I wasn't going back to a traditional job. And that's kind of how we got here. One of my good friends to this day, my guy Mel, so he started showing me the credit stuff, and what I was showing him in exchange was just some online marketing stuff that I was kind of doing, basic stuff to get people to the nightclubs. That was the only skill I had, so that's what I was able to kind of, mastermind with him on. And when he started showing me the credit stuff, I'm like, man, this is what I need. Like, all that other stuff is cool, but this is what I need, because a lot of times, as new entrepreneurs, the biggest problem we have isn't how to scale, it's how do you start, right? Starting costs. So when I quit that last job, it put me in a position where a lot of times I tell people, you got to grow through what you go through, and the things that you learn when you're forced to figure things out, it really brings out the best in you. So throughout the nightlife, I had been essentially, it was week to week, because the way I got paid as a sub promoter was you get paid for what you bring in, which is great for entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is you eat what you kill, right? Whatever you produce, that's your money. So once I learned how to get to the money, people started asking me, well, how did you do that? Right? Can you help me get some money? So I took a couple mentorships, learned, really honed in on the skill set, right? I always tell people you're one skill away from changing your situation. And then I started funding people, helping people fix their credit, get their credit right. When I talk about leverage is other people's things, right? So other people's information, that's mentorship. Other people's money, that's the banks. And then other people's audience, right? So like this podcast, I get to leverage your audience, right? Your clips, your studio, to be able to put content out to the world that's going to get value. Most people don't understand those three forms of leverage, but if you maximize on all three of those, you'll never be broke. Once I brought in the right positions, for example, my operations manager, she is able to take my ideas and put them into play. So now that frees me, and it allows me to just be able to show up for calls. It allows me to do the things that bring more money to the business. So once you learn how to delegate and outsource the right things, then you don't have to worry about burnout, because you have those systems in place to make business easier. Because a lot of people are quitting a job to work another job that they just call their business. But we want to teach you how to run a sustainable business that can actually give you your time back, because that's the point of business. Most people don't believe it when I tell you your low ticket, your mid ticket, and your high ticket are all essentially the same thing. The difference is more access, right? So when I create an ebook for somebody, I give someone all the information, and they're able to go out and execute it if they're a high level executor, right? People who pay, they pay attention, right? Like, we all know, like, you might get something free, but the problem is when we get free things, a lot of times we don't subconsciously believe that that's the thing that can change my life, right? We recently my guy Mills is he's a crazy story. He been doing wholesaling for the past 9.5 years, and he just recently locked in on the coaching aspect. He said he had tried teaching before, and I think people think that the teaching game is like an easy game, because it can appear that way. So he's been working with us the past 3 months now, and he's at $55,000 in 3 months, right? We've had Alondra, she's been with me now the past 6 months. She's over 100K, all right? And she's someone who came to me. She has a family. She's not from here. She came over to this country. She put in the work. She invested in herself, and she's someone that is relentless. And the thing about her is she epitomizes what a lot of what I like my students to be, because she's a person who doesn't question things, right? She just executes. And a lot of times the difference between successful entrepreneurs and those who struggle a little bit more is the ability to execute now, right? No opportunity wasted. And some people are always questioning things. Oh, well, what about when this happens? But you're not even there yet. But when I see entrepreneurs like her who they run the play, it works, or even if the first time it didn't work, they continue to do it and get better, and they come back, then those people will always go out to make a lot of money faster.